The Baltimore Ravens finally found their rhythm and showed the league what they're made of with a massive bounce-back win over the Cleveland Browns. After a frustrating Week 1, the team stormed into Week 2 with something to prove, and they delivered in every phase of the game. Lamar Jackson? Unbelievable once again. The defense? Ruthless. And the special teams? Game-changing. You could feel the energy shift in the stadium. A team that was hungry, focused, and determined to remind everyone exactly who they are. Let's start with the man of the hour, Lamar Jackson. At this point, what more is there to say? He's rewriting history week after week and doing it with the kind of flair only he can bring. The Browns came in with one of the most respected defenses in the league, but Lamar made them look average. For total touchdowns, threading needles, escaping pressure like it's backyard football, and still managing to rack up yards through the air and on the ground. This isn't just a dual-threat quarterback. This is a generational talent operating at full throttle. He's now the all-time leader in passer rating in NFL history, edging out Aaron Rodgers. And just to remind everyone, Lamar has missed over a dozen games since 2021 and still leads the league in 4 touchdown performances since that year. It's not just about numbers. It's about how he takes over games in the moments that matter most. But it wasn't just Lamar. This Ravens team looks deep, disciplined, and battle-tested already, and it's only Week 2. After a loss to the Bills in the opener, where the offense was electric but the defense and special teams had some costly breakdowns, Baltimore flipped the script completely. The defense came out like a pack of wolves, fast, physical, and aggressive. They made life miserable for Joe Flacco, collapsing the pocket, disrupting timing, and forcing mistakes. And that secondary? Locked in. Young guys like Malachi Starks are already showing the poise of veterans. There's a hunger on that side of the ball that you can feel every snap, and that's exactly what you want heading into a primetime showdown with the Lions and a trip to Kansas City looming. Now let's talk special teams. Because honestly, they don't always get the shine, but this week, they stole it. From clutch field goals to perfectly executed kickoffs to the huge blocked punt that completely flipped momentum, this unit came ready to dominate. You could hear the boom when Jake Mell got his hands on that punt. It was one of those moments that just sucks the life out of the other team. That play set the tone for everything that followed. And what makes it even more impressive is that the Ravens have historically leaned on their return game, not necessarily on heavy punt rushes. But when the opportunity was there, they pounced. That's a team that's not just well coached, it's prepared for every scenario. And Tyler Loop? Rookie or not, he's proving week after week that he belongs. His kickoffs are becoming more precise, and the way the coverage unit is flying down the field, they're making life difficult for opposing returners. It's the kind of attention to detail that separates good teams from contenders. And we have to give some serious love to the rookie class, because they are balling right now. From Malachi Starks locking down in the secondary, to Mike Green bringing relentless pressure off the edge, to Tyler Loop calmly handling the pressure as a kicker, these guys aren't just filling in. They're contributing in major ways. Mike Green, in particular, looked like a player who leveled up during the game. He started out fast and aggressive, and by the second half, he was more refined, tightening up his angles, cleaning up the rush lanes, and becoming a real problem for the Browns' offensive line. That's the kind of in-game growth you dream of seeing from a young pass rusher. And it's not just the rookies stepping up. The Ravens' depth is being tested early, and so far, they're passing with flying colors. Patrick Ricard's absence opened the door for other guys to show what they can do, and they've answered the call. Zaire Mitchell-Payton deserves a massive shout-out. Here's a guy who's been grinding on the practice squad, going against starters every week, staying ready, and when his number was called, he delivered. Whether it was lining up at fullback, getting physical in the run game, or flying down the field on special teams, Zaire played like a guy who's not giving that opportunity back. He's earning his spot, one snap at a time. Same goes for Charlie Kolar, stepping into a bigger role with Isaiah likely unavailable, blocking with authority, making catches in tight windows, and anchoring the unit like a seasoned pro. And how about the wide receiver room? DeAndre Hopkins and Tez Walker were both quietly lethal. Zay Flowers may be the primary option, and deservedly so with his elite separation skills. But this week showed that when defenses take him away, Lamar's got other weapons who are more than ready to take the spotlight. Hopkins is doing what he's always done, making circus catches, moving the chains, and reminding everyone that the idea he was washed was laughable to begin with. The chemistry with Lamar is growing by the week, and it's a dangerous connection for anyone standing in their way. Then there's Tez. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. That's not just efficiency, that's historic. The last Raven to do that? Torrey Smith. And wouldn't you know it, Eric DeCosta has already compared Tez to Torrey. Coincidence? Maybe. But the explosiveness is real. Tez doesn't just get open, he blows past defenders. On one of his scores, it looked like the DB was standing still. That's world-class track speed in action. Combine that with his ability to make sideline catches and keep his feet inbounds, and you've got a vertical threat that defenses have to respect. What makes all of this even more impressive is the leadership flowing through this locker room. Veterans stepping up, rookies buying in, and a coaching staff that continues to put players in position to win. John Harbaugh's fingerprints are all over this. His attention to detail on special teams, his trust in the young guys, and his steady hand during a chaotic, injury-riddled start to the season. You can see how this group has responded. They aren't just surviving. They're building something. And now, with the Detroit Lions coming into town for Monday Night Football, the Ravens have a massive opportunity to show the country what they're made of. Baltimore's already gone toe-to-toe with one powerhouse. Now, they get another test, this time in front of the world. And after that, a trip to Arrowhead to face the defending champs. That's the gauntlet. But make no mistake, this team is ready. They've got the stars. They've got the depth. They've got the mindset. And most importantly, they've got number 8. And when Lamar is locked in like this, there's not a team in the league that wants to be in their way. When you talk about culture in the NFL, very few teams have built something as deeply rooted and respected as what the Ravens have in Baltimore. And that shows up in how they develop players, how they respond to adversity, and how guys step into roles with confidence instead of hesitation. That mindset was on full display in Week 2, especially when you look at how many players rose to the occasion in the absence of key starters. The narrative isn't about next man up just to fill a gap. In Baltimore, it's about next man ready. And that mindset has been key to this team's resilience over the years. Take TJ Tampa, for example. This is a guy who's quietly been doing his job on special teams, grinding through training camp, flying under the radar for the most part. Then suddenly, when the moment calls, he's thrown into a bigger defensive role, and he doesn't just survive, he thrives. The way he broke on that route and made a clean, physical play on the ball was eye-opening. You saw that quickness, that understanding of angles, the trust in his instincts. And that's a product of preparation. These aren't fluke performances from guys off the bench. These are players who have been in the film room, taking mental reps, locked in every single week as if they're starting. That's the Ravens' way. Zaire Mitchell-Payton's performance continues to stand out as well. What makes his story even more compelling is the way he's embraced the dirty work. Playing fullback in the NFL is not glamorous. It's a thankless job, especially when you're transitioning from tight end, where most guys prefer catching passes and putting up stats. But Zaire didn't blink. He took on the challenge, asked the right questions, stayed after practice, lifted more, studied harder, and now he's making plays that help the team win games. It's rare to see a guy so committed to carving out a role like that. And when you see it, you better believe coaches and teammates notice. He's earned the respect of that locker room, not just because he made a few good blocks, but because of how he approaches every opportunity like it could be his last. Charlie Kolar, too, continues to be one of the most dependable and underappreciated guys on this roster. He might not be filling the stat sheet, but his consistency in the blocking game, his contributions on special teams, and his situational awareness in big moments have been vital. In a league where versatility is gold, having a guy who can line up in multiple spots, move defenders in the run game, and still be a threat in the passing game is invaluable. And now that Isaiah likely is sidelined, the coaching staff is leaning even more on Charlie's steady presence. He's become one of those glue guys, the kind of player every championship team needs, but doesn't always get headlines for. That same all-hands-on-deck mentality is showing up across every unit. You look at what's happening in the wide receiver room, and it's clear that Lamar isn't just relying on one guy anymore. Zay Flowers remains the focal point. His ability to separate, find soft spots in zone coverage, and stretch the field horizontally is something this offense thrives on. But when defenses try to take him away, Lamar is showing trust in his other weapons, and it's paying off in a big way. Tez Walker is one of those players who just needed the opportunity to show what he's capable of. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns to start his season. That's the kind of thing that gets people talking. But if you've been around the team, you know this isn't new. Tez has been flashing that deep threat ability in practice for a while now. He's got track speed, sure, but what's really coming together is his timing with Lamar and his awareness of when to break routes and how to use leverage. It's the little details, the crispness of his releases, the body control near the sideline, and the fearlessness going across the middle. You can tell he's a student of the game. When Eric DeCosta compared him to Torrey Smith, people chuckled. Now, after these last 2 games, it doesn't seem like a stretch at all. And then there's DeAndre Hopkins, the savvy veteran who has absolutely shut down the ridiculous narrative that he was washed. All it took was putting him in a system with a quarterback who knows how to extend plays and deliver strikes in tight windows. Suddenly, Hopkins looks like the all-pro he's always been. Whether it's catching balls in traffic, boxing out defenders, or toe-tapping on the sideline, he's proving every week that he's still a nightmare to cover. His chemistry with Lamar is growing, and the respect that he commands on the field is creating more space for guys like Zay and Tez to operate. That's what leadership looks like. That's what experience does. It elevates everyone around you. And you want to talk about impact plays? None was bigger than that blocked punt by Jake Mell. It was the kind of moment that sends shockwaves through a game, a sudden momentum swing that you could feel instantly. Jake isn't just some random guy on special teams. He's got a history of blocking punts, and that's a skill, not just a hustle play. The timing, the angle, the patience to not run into the kicker, and the technique to get your hands in the right spot. It all has to be perfect. And it was. The sound of that ball getting deflected, the crowd exploding, and the immediate flip in field position, that was a tone setter. What made that block even more crucial was the timing. The Ravens' offense hadn't quite clicked yet. The defense was holding strong, but they needed something to ignite the sideline, the crowd, the energy, and boom, there it was. You could see it in the body language after that. It wasn't just a big play. It was a statement. And from that point on, it felt like Baltimore was in full control. Special teams continue to be a foundational part of this team's identity, and it's something that JOHN HARBAUGH takes seriously. He's a former special teams coordinator. He knows how often games are decided by hidden yardage, field position, and those key moments that don't always show up on highlight reels. That's why there's such an emphasis in Baltimore on playing the phase with pride. Tyler Loop is still getting used to the finesse side of NFL kickoffs, especially with the new rules placing a premium on precision. In college, it was about booting the ball into the end zone. In the NFL, it's about placing the ball in the right zone to force returns, but not give up big yardage. It's a different skill set, and he's learning fast. His poise, his leg strength, and his willingness to keep improving are all signs that he's going to be a real asset to this team for a long time. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are swirling around the NFL this week as a storm appears to be brewing in Baltimore. Sources close to the team claim that Ravens head coach JOHN HARBAUGH has reportedly delivered a blunt message to one of his star players. You don't play with me anymore. While the identity of the player remains shrouded in mystery, the implications are enough to send shockwaves through the franchise and the league. According to insiders, the alleged confrontation took place behind closed doors during a team meeting earlier this week, and it is said to have been unusually tense. Coaches and teammates reportedly watched from a distance, sensing that something significant had just occurred. While Harbaugh is known for his fiery competitiveness and unflinching loyalty to his team, this kind of statement, if true, suggests a serious fracture in the locker room. Fans have been quick to speculate online, dissecting every play and interaction from recent games for signs of tension. Some believe the player in question may have clashed with Harbaugh over playing time or strategic disagreements, while others hint at a personality clash that has reached its boiling point. Social media is abuzz, and fan forums are flooded with theories ranging from potential trades to dramatic benchings. The Ravens organization has remained tight-lipped, with spokespeople declining to comment on the situation, fueling further speculation. Analysts are wondering if this moment could signal a larger shakeup within the team, perhaps affecting the Ravens' strategy as they approach the playoffs. While Harbaugh has weathered plenty of controversy in his long career, few incidents have reportedly been as personal and direct as this one. One thing is clear. If the rumor is accurate, the coming weeks could reshape the Ravens' season. Will the player reconcile with the coach, or is a high-profile exit imminent? As the league watches closely, the tension in Baltimore seems far from over, leaving fans to wonder whether this is a fleeting spark of drama or the start of a larger, season-defining saga. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.